Good evening, good evening, good evening, iRacing fans. Much love to you all. Welcome to SRW TV, Sim Racing World TV's broadcast of our final round of the Porsche 992 Cup tonight. It's going to be an amazing race. We're going to Imola tonight, and I'm joined in the comms box with Andrew, the average sim racer Cowie, and our illustrious producer Nathan Shibby Howard. This is going to be an absolutely amazing race. Our sponsors bring you tonight. Our sponsors, DSL Welding, big thank you. DSL Welding Services, big thank you to them, and Dragonrc for their sponsorship of this series also. Today, we've got some pretty nice weather today, 20 degrees. It's only 73% humidity and clear. It's a little bit of a breeze, so it'll be a nice day, but Imola tends to be pretty hard on tyres. And I'm sure you'll tend to agree, Cowie. How are you, mate?
Mate, I'm doing great. Yeah, we're here, mate. It's the finale, 70-minute race to decide it all. Pretty pumped. It's a great place in my
well.
What is it? The Autodromo Internazionale Enzo E Dino Ferrari. Hey, I said it okay.
Oh, you nailed it, Cowie. Come on.
So what? We're talking just under 5Ks long, fast-flowing straights and corners around here. You've got those several elevation changes as well, tight chicanes. So, those chicanes, man, they're the key to a fast lap. Exit onto the straights as quick as you can, but if you cut too much or jump it, there's an off-track, slow down, or maybe even a spin. We all know how hard these cars are to control.
Or even just random bumps where you'd never think they would be on a track as well.
That's how it goes, buddy. But yeah, as we said, mate, it's the final race 10 of the championship. So it's all about to end after tonight. We've got Adam Hughes with Crisscross Racing. He's, 138 points ahead of Robbie Griffiths with Fishy Motorsports. So he's almost got it signed up.
Already.
Or almost, mate. But as we said, it is triple points tonight. So Adam will want to keep his nose clean and make sure he banks as many points as he can, because it wouldn't take much for someone to maybe take him out and leapfrog him in the championship. Not that we're suggesting that. No one's going to do that. Are they?
No, but I don't know. But I think some people, will see some definite teamwork tonight, because I'm sure these guys will be trying to, I'm sure we'll see some team orders also, it being triple points.
Look. Yeah, I think so, buddy. So what we've got, Stephen McCartan is 30 points back from Robbie Griffiths, so the battle's still on for second there. That's definitely doable. And then you go back to fourth and fifth, Alex Court and Carter Dines. So the After Dark Sim Racing, Alex Court and Crisscross Racing for Carter. So they're fourth and fifth, but you've got Callum Hodgkinson and Kyle Zink. If they have a good result, they may well jump into the top 5 too. So
there's still a fair bit improved the last couple of rounds, as well. So they're ones to watch.
That's it, buddy. They still have a fair bit. I mean, it's probably, Adam had those internet issues sort of around 7 and 8 that dragged him sort of back towards the pack. But then I think Alex Court had a couple of troubles in the last race. Last round, I think, so that's dropped him back down the points, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. Benjamin Sirens actually had a really great run towards the end of the season as well. He, I think it was 2 rounds ago, would have been round 8. I'm pretty sure he was driver of the day.
Yes.
So he had a great battle, and I think he made up 11 positions or something crazy. So he had a great race that run. So.
Well, that's it. And I mean, for most of these guys, it'll be about the race glory tonight, if they can. We've still got it pretty close in the team championships. Crisscross Racing number 1 is 500 points in front, so they've got it sewn up pretty much.
They have been working really well together as teammates as well, though. So they have been having each other's back and shielding each other from a few troubles as well, which has been good to see.
Well, I have to see if they're going to be friendly towards their other Crisscross buddies, because it's only 6 points separating After Dark Sim Racing in second and Crisscross 2 in third. So,
that'd be full team orders.
So it might get cagey out there. We'll have to see. Again, as we said, it's an enduro tonight, so it's a triple point round, 70-minute race. There is 1 compulsory pit stop, must change at least 2 tyres. But as we said before, the amount of fuel you've got to put on, there's no real point taking 2. You might as well take all 4, because you'll get them done in the time. So,
yeah,
but
exactly
it
right.
Should be a good race.
You don't want to take the chance of just 2 tyres on Imola either.
No, as you said, I mean, it's really about sort of those exits out of the chicane. If you could take a tight line, there's quite a few corners around here where you've got to sacrifice the exit of the first corner to maximise the exit of the second one. You know, at that section we were just going through there. What was that? I can't think of the name of the
Yeah, I
corners. I
can't think
did
of the
have
name
them
right now.
up.
Yeah, I'll bring up my my track map again. I shall. We only just did this 2 nights ago. Bloody hell, getting old.
That's it. Well, Dano would have been on top of it. He's probably, if he's sitting there watching, say hi, Dano. I hope you're enjoying it in Australia. We can't wait to deport you soon. But we've got to wait another week because you're here for the Grand Prix, aren't you? So, but yeah,
Should be a bit of fun for him then.
he's normally on top of the names. So, but
I'm normally on top of him as well. I was on top of him earlier on in the week, but doesn't seem to be this time.
Well, we
so,
were just having a look at the Team Greg Red Machine. We're now with Kyle Zink.
Here we go. Yes, I do. Yes. Now it's all coming. It's all coming back. It's all coming. That's Alta. Basically, that last kind of chicane part is called Alta. Oh,
I'll leave that to you.
Variante Alta.
Hey, I said the full name of the place right without stuffing it up, so that's my claim to fame of the
so
night.
every time I call the corner, I have to say Variante Alta. Coming down into Variante Alta.
Well, we'll just call this one the bus stop because that's what it is. It'd be interesting to see how committed the guys are. Well, I was going to see how committed the boys were going to be there tonight because it's a hell of a corner. I stuffed it up on Tuesday night in the Radicals,
but fortunately, these Porsches are a lot easier on the exit of a corner than a Radical is. So, especially on colder tyres. So, we'll probably see a lot more speed out of these cars tonight.
Oh, well, these could be a lot more of a handful, but I think that mid-engine sort of tends to give it sort of fairly stable but weight base, and you don't get a lot of weight transfer in the car, so it should handle those curves a bit better.
Yeah, it's just that you also have to watch out for locking it up into a corner with these Porsches because of the weight of them, and they really don't weigh much at all. And with 500 horsepower at 1,200 kilos with driver in and full fluids, they are very easy to lock up, especially coming into quite elevation change of corners or downhill braking into corners. Very similar to here, coming down the hill, coming down those trail braking down those gears there, and trying to use as much track as possible. But if you use a little bit too much track, you do get a pretty easy track limit penalty around here, or it will just turn you around, as Cowie was saying earlier.
Yeah, look, it's easy to rack them up. 1Xs around here. I mean, they have changed it and fixed a couple of the off tracks of the big sections. I think when you first jump into the session in iRacing, you'll see the changes that they make. They put in the rules. So there are a couple of variations to track limits here, but you still find the X's there, man. They're still there.
Yeah, most definitely. And I was just admiring Dean Sinkovic's new beautiful livery. Look at that. That's very, very cool. He's gone back into workshop and tinkered around and come out with something really cool. He's got some Dragonrc and some DSL welding on there. He's got the SRW TV. That's looking really cool. A little bit of a hint of red on the back bumper there. And just on the back bumper and the rear diffuser there. So that's looking very, very tidy, Dean.
Yeah, so far he's having a good run. He's up into 7th position in quali at the moment with a... Well, I think as he... that's right.
Look at that. Oh, 50. Oh, yeah, no, 46.
Yeah, he hasn't...
There.
Is it a 46? Yeah, okay. So that's doing pretty good. I mean, the lead guys are doing 44s at the moment. We've got Alex Court with a
43s or?
Ooh, Alex Court's got a 44 flat, buddy, so it's possible.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty close, eh? And if Alex Court's getting close to a marker, he'll definitely push past it. Oh, and Carter Dines. There we go. He's one to watch tonight as well. He'll be pushing, trying to push towards a podium position for this last race and the last race of the series.
Well, that's right. I mean, he's him and Alex are battling for 4th and 5th. Look, it's going to be. I don't know if 3rd's going to be a target that they are going to have a realistic chance at. There's a fair chunk of points sort of separating the first few positions, but if he doesn't keep on it, you're going to have Callum and Kyle behind that, may well leapfrog them. So triple points, mate. It gives everyone a chance.
Oh, it looks like he's got some greens there, some green sectors along there with Carter Dines. Oh, he's done a 145.8 there. Nice.
Okay. Yeah, no, the guys are going good. It's starting to heat up. We're just coming up to halfway through qualifying, so we're probably looking mostly at the guys' first runs, maybe trying a second lap on the tyres. It sort of seems you need to probably give these tyres 1 or 2 laps to get up to temp, at least. And then, and then if you're like me, you have a mistake or an off track and get dirt on them or bang the car, and then you've got to go out and do it again. It takes you another 2 laps to get them up to speed. So it can be easy to miss your qualifying chance.
Cold tyres, isn't it?
That's right. And I mean, again, I think these guys will be looking at a banker early on, so they're not starting at the back of the grid. And then that second sort of run was where you'll see them push hard and really try to find those extra tenths that move you right up the leaderboard.
Yeah. Do you think we'll see the same guys that we've seen in the past weeks that have pitted quite late? Do you think we'll see that tonight? Do you reckon a lot of them will just split it down the middle so they can make sure they can come hard home? Or I don't know.
To be honest,
I was in there, I'd probably push it the first stint a bit longer, eh?
Well, look, it's one of those things that the issue is always the undercut. Depends on how easy it is to get around guys. If it's hard to pass, then you really want to maximise that undercut, get in front of them. Yeah. But if if you got opportunities to pass, and Imola's a pretty good track for racing, and for side by side racing, so saving your tyres and having fresher rubber at the end will always be an advantage. But the problem is that we'll have to see how heavy the tyre deck is, because if it's a big difference between new tyres and old tyres, if you stay out there an extra couple of laps and they're 2 seconds a lap slower, it doesn't take long for you to fall down that leaderboard. So, yeah.
Or make a simple mistake and,
that's right.
As you were saying, so make a simple mistake on crappy tyres and then you get crap on your tyres and then all of a sudden you've got double-edged sword it's very hard to handle.
Well, that's right. It's one of these things that the tyres take a while to get up to temperature, but you can still overheat them. And once you overheat them, that will just destroy the tyre life. So
we're on board here.
On the right front on this corner, you can see how the car skips through there and bounces almost, so that right front's going to take a bit of a beating tonight, I would think.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So it's Acqua Minerale, so Acqua Minerale, basically named after the Italian sparkling water.
Okay. Is that because water used to run down there, maybe?
I don't know. Oh, that'd be an interesting point, actually. Get the old Google out.
This is Imola. Put us on board with Stefan McCartney. Stefan's had some good results in this car. Just been a bit up and down, in the season. But, he still got a chance to take second position off Robbie. So, he's fighting hard.
Well, we all know how consistent Robbie is. So, Robbie definitely has some very consistent racecraft. So, we'll see him pick his way patiently through the pack, I'm sure. He's only sitting in 6th now, but I don't think that's any mark on how he's feeling or how his performance is going to go tonight. I think that's just everybody seems to be pretty quick around here. We've got our top 5 all in a 144, so that's pretty crazy. Well,
that's right. And as we've said before, like for us average sim racers, if we can get within 2 or 3 seconds of these guys,
100%.
Then that's we're going pretty good there.
Yeah,
if you think about it,
a place like then.
You've got 17 corners around here. If you can find a 10th in every one of those corners, that's almost 2 seconds. That's almost the difference. And that's what it comes down to. But the problem is it's not just finding those tenths, but it's repeating them lap after lap. That's what gives these guys the past time.
Yeah, finding the line and nailing that line every single time. Yeah.
Well, that's right. It's all execution.
And milking all the track limits for all they're worth, as you can see. He's just had a...
I'd
At
say
the
he's getting
moment
out of the way. No, he's
I'm
just
just
getting
getting
out of the way.
Oh, he's got a broken something. That's what it looked like. Oh no, he's just getting out of his car. That's all right.
So there you go.
Wow.
You were talking about it before too, buddy. Would anyone get into the 43s? And that's Adam Hughes with a
Wow, he's just
143.83. So perhaps he feels like he's done enough there. Or again, it might be one of those cases that you get the tyres up to temp and you get a lap or two out of them, and then you're giving away time. I know the V8's very much, you really only get a couple of laps at the optimal grip level, and then they start to fall off a little bit. But because these things take at least a couple of laps to get up to temperature, I don't know if that means they last a lot longer or not. Yeah, and again, you were talking about tyre degradation, and this being an enduro tonight, maybe the guys won't be able to run along. Their tyres might be shot by the time they get to halfway.
Yeah, you might actually see people taking the doubles two-stopper and actually going, well, I might, people might be sitting there and doing practice and going, well, over 70 minutes, it might work out that a two-stopper actually, with better tyres, ends up being quicker. You never know.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty long pit lane. I can't see the two-stop strategy really working. I mean, again, as I said, I think for a lot of the laps, you're going to see these guys sort of in the 45s to 47s in the race, and we'll just have to keep an eye on that drop off. If it looks like they're getting into the 48s and the 49s, then it might be worthwhile looking at two stops, but I can't really see it happening. Again, I know that it is a high wear track, but
it's a pretty flighty car really on braking if they get it right. No potential.
I think the real issue with the Porsche is that it's just a little different from some of the other cars where you use engine braking to slow down, so you shift up and use that engine braking to help, whereas this car sort of doesn't let you do that. You've actually got to slow it down before you can go back down the gears, and that requires a bit of a different thinking of how you drive it.
Yeah, it's a bit totally. You still kind of have to trail brake it, but it's a totally different style of trail braking.
Well, the difference is when it does get up to temp, it feels like you got lots of grip as well.
Yeah.
And because you don't have all those
security as well sometimes.
Oh, true, but I find because you don't have all those traction control aids and anti-lock braking and that, again, I feel like I can feel when it starts to go. Doesn't mean I've got any better chance of saving it, but you can feel it.
And it doesn't do unpredictable things, because sometimes those things just kick in at why am I going sideways right now? Because traction control or something, one of those things is actually just kicked in at the wrong time because the computer just doesn't quite manage it quite right. So that makes it very hard.
I've had that happen to me in iRacing. Traction control could definitely affect your exit speed because if you kick it in, then you're obviously not maximising your exit. But I think everyone needs to drive these cars without it. Learn how to drive a real car.
And then it's not the same car if you're running it with ABS.
If you guys are watching, sorry, I was going to say, if you guys are watching out there on the socials, don't forget to jump on board, give us a comment, say hi, a shout out to your favourite team, see how well they can do tonight, or driver. But while you're there, give us a like and subscribe. As Toddy said before, you got it, and he did a good shout out to our sponsors there before, so it's great to have Dragonrc, the promo department, and DSL Welding Services on as our major sponsor. And big things coming for SRW TV and the SRW League in the next couple of months. So they've already dropped. There's going to be the Radicals are going full time now, so it'll be a full 10 race series for the Radicals. I think the F3 will have their own night. We're looking at was an oval truck series, the NASCAR truck series. So that's going to be interesting on a Monday
American
night.
Invasion.
That's right. Yeah, Rallycross. I saw that. I'm actually fairly keen at the Rallycross myself.
Yeah, on the Saturday night for Mayhem. Rallycross, not Mayhem.
It's going to be good fun. But yeah, so make sure you go to simracingworld.com.au and jump on board and sign up, because it's things are only going to get bigger and bigger here at SRW.
there will be on pretty much every night then for season 2. So that's going to be pretty amazing. And make sure you come and join us for our Enduro series as well, which is going to be fun.
Yeah, I believe that, you know, we're also maybe looking for another broadcaster or two or commentator. So if you want to have a look on the other side of the fences, you can get in touch with us through the website as well there. As I said, was at simracingworld.com.au. So if that's something that tickles your fancy. I know I've enjoyed my stint. I didn't think about talking about it. And I've quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's real good fun, isn't it, actually? And it's really, I think the funnest part about it is actually seeing these guys kind of improve and grow and, if you know what I mean, get more confident in these cars. And so I think it's going to make such a... And we've already seen it in the F3s and the Radicals, how exciting those final rounds were. So it just makes for an awesome series. And this is only our first series. The second series is going to be these guys plus more guys. And these guys will be well practiced by now in a lot of these cars. So.
Well, looks like we have come to the end of qualifying, buddy. That was Steven Sinkovich coming across the line there into the 48s, Steven. So he maybe hasn't had a chance to do as much practice out here. Some pretty hot times there at the top of the leaderboard, buddy.
There is.
We might get Shibby behind the scenes there to bring it up for us, and you can call out the grid.
Cool, sounds good. So we do actually have... we've got Adam Hughes. So I could just go off my thing as well. So Adam Hughes there with a 1:43.83 or flying lap through there. We thought somebody would get into the 1:43s, but
well, he has been the benchmark all season, buddy. He has ahead in the championship, and yeah, I think his plan is to get ahead of everything, and then he doesn't have to worry about what anyone else does.
100%. Yeah, get out and clean air and just push on. Hey,
that's it.
Along with Alex Court, because he'll want to be able to. He will definitely want to build a gap straight away from Alex Court and try and run away from him, and try and build gaps between. And Alex Court will definitely try to build a gap to Stefan McCartan behind him in third there too. Benjamin Simon with an absolute blinder tonight as well with a 1:44.36 there, guys, and he's done so well to get that time. That's very, very, very good to see him with some solid improvements throughout the season.
Well, you missed Stefan McCartan there too, because he did a 44.1, so he was only 700ths of a second off Alex's time, and that's only 2/10 off Adams. So the boy's heating up.
It's definitely heating up, and then we've only got another 2/10, just over another 2/10 there to Benjamin Siren, and then another 4/10 there, or just 3/10 there, just over 3/10 for Kyle Zink, with a solid improvement to the end of the season as well there too, guys. So that's been pretty fantastic to see Kyle Zink wrap out our top 5.
Yeah, well, that's the top 5. They're all doing under 1:45, so you know it's great. Tyson McAvoy with a great drive there, 1:45.1. That's brought him up into 6th position. So that's my team boss with Performance Sim Racing. Robbie Griffiths back in was that 7th position?
Yeah,
7th position for Robbie.
But he's got
Robbie's got his work. Well, he's got his work cut out to hold on to 2nd position in the title, because Stefan's 4 spots in front of him. So that's going to be quite interesting. Dean Sinkovich has been solid up into the top 10 once again, with SRW Racing, and Greg Leake with Team Greg in bringing up 10th, and we've got Callan Hodgkinson and George Menace with our final row on the grid for tonight's race. Mate,
and
70 minutes
behind him as well.
Oh, is it? He hasn't come up. I apologise.
Yeah, no.
We just forget about Stephen, don't we?
We got the illustrious Scotty Rankin in the pace car, in the safety car, I should say.
That's it. Right, should be awesome tonight. 70 minutes of action. So remember, there is a compulsory pit stop. Oh, look, compulsory pit stop, 2 tyres minimum, but we'll see him probably take all 4. See how it goes, but yeah, mate, it's gonna be awesome.
Here we go. We'll come up with all these gentlemen start your engines. Everyone will just be finishing, getting their boots on, and everyone getting their gloves on, and all that sort of stuff, and getting revved up.
That's it. Barney's got the green flag ready. We should get the lights any moment now. All the cars on the grid. Okay, we're still waiting on 2 cars. Shibby is telling me, so that would be the hold up. But no,
Oh,
it's going
that
to be a great
Alex
race
Court's
tonight.
livery looks good, huh?
Temperature's ramped up a little bit. It's 37 degrees on track out there, so that might
Wow.
make it a bit slippery early on. We'll have to see again. We'll be interested to see how many of these mid-pack guys make their moves nice and early on cold tyres. It's risk versus reward, but the reward is a top 3 position in the championship and a top 5 for some of these guys, so it'll be on.
Increased temperature on the track as well. We might see them get a bit more out of these tyres in the first stint, so who knows? Here we go, Gritty. We have no red lights. Would you like to take it away, Cowie, at the start of the race?
I'm just waiting to see the lights. They're up, and we are off and racing.
Oh, and Adam Hughes has had a pretty bad start there. Sorry to jump in.
No, you're right, mate. You called it, buddy. I was on a blimp camera there for a minute, so I actually missed the start. But I've called it now. Great action there.
Great action. We've got Benjamin Siren already up to 1 place and 2 places.
Up into third, and he's fighting for second there. That's right. Kyle Zink up into fourth.
Team members there.
Tyson McAvoy, yes. So Carter Dines has really fallen back there. That's cost him. Oh, that's Adam Hughes down 6 positions.
Wow, Adam Hughes had a bit of a shocker at the start of that. We'll see if we can get a bit of an action replay there, but he seemed to have definitely wheel spin
off the line. And we've seen it time and time again. If you get wheel spin on the line here, you know, I think if it only costs you 3 or 4 positions, you're pretty lucky. Generally, it costs you 5 or 6.
And honestly, you'd rather spin it. You'd rather do that than jump the start, to be honest, and have to black flag it back into the pits and, you know, serve your penalty, etc. So
it's all about too much clutch, really. That's what happens, you know. Again, it's a fine line between that blistering start and you know, the ordinary start. The boys just come through the bus stop. Looks like they're fairly conservative there for lap 1.
And it seems that Robbie Griffiths has been caught up in some of that as well, and Robbie Griffiths has dropped down 1 spot. He's down into 8th as well, so I'm sure he'll jump on the back of Adam Hughes right now and use him to his advantage. Tyson McAvoy with a great drive here, right just on board with his beautiful camera work here from Nathan Shibby Howard. Tyson McAvoy with a great little drive here. He's sitting in 5th place. He's up 1 spot, and he's definitely locked in on the back of those cars.
Yeah, doing well, man. Jump up into the top 5. I think he said he was going to try. He wasn't sure if he was going to make tonight's race, so it's glad to see him here.
Nice.
I think he was starting to sort of getting used to the car, and I don't know if he had much practice today. But certainly looks like he's found a little bit of pace around here. Probably knows Imola quite well. It is one of those tracks that we all love to race in iRacing.
We got Carter Dines there in 5th place also. Carter Dines, Benjamin Siren also, who are on board for now. I'll start with Benjamin Siren. He's had a great improvement, some solid rounds lately. In round 8, he got driver of the day.
Well, Adam
he's
Hughes.
up 1 spot as well.
Adam Hughes has made 2 positions up fairly quickly, passing Tyson and... so Tyson must have had an off track because he's passed Carter Dines as well. So we might try and see if we can have a look at those moves from Adam.
Yeah.
Our current series champ.
Actually, I was just about to say that Carter Dines was nicely up into the 5th position, mirroring.
So there's Tyson's off track.
Whoa, with someone Dino in the background, just getting a bit of air off that curb. Oh,
that's how Adam got
Tyson's
Tyson.
Just taking a bit wide, hasn't he?
Yep. So and these would be teammates, so I wouldn't be surprised that Carter just let him through there. Carter hasn't bothered fighting that at all. Yeah, Carter's just let him through. Teammate and
respect, beautiful.
Current champion, going to give him any chances. A little bit of a ding on the...
Looks like Dean after that bit of air in the background might have actually... Okay, we'll just go cut to a DSL action replay.
Dean's had a bit of a ding there, so something's happened because the front of that car looks straight before. Does at the moment. Oh,
yeah, that's where we saw it. It just seems to have just munted up his front splitter a bit there.
That must have been a net code thinking that he's hit someone because...
yeah, it was weird, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah. Because it didn't seem like it should have damaged the
Adam Hughes pushing hard and move on Kyle Zink.
Oh, what a move from Adam Hughes. He's back on the hunt here. He wants to get in some clean air, get back through the pack here. He's beautifully. Now he's on the hunt of Benjamin Siren here. Adam Hughes back into the contention. Will we see Adam Hughes push himself all the way up into first? Or is Stephen McCartney going to be able to get away?
Callan Hodgkinson trying to make a move on Tyson here, so Callan didn't have a. Callan's up a couple of positions, didn't qualify that well.
No.
We probably hope for a bit better qualifying, seeing he's in the hunt for that top 5 position for the championship.
Yeah, exactly
Tyson,
right. Ooh, he can bend
really
a bit sideways on the exit there.
Both of them got a bit sideways there.
It's touch and go there. Coming down through Variante Alta. Beautiful little chicane there, but it can take you very by surprise. The bus stop is technically Spa. So I think that's a blight on Spa if you call that the bus stop. in my opinion.
There's heaps of tracks that have their own bus stop chicane, so
yeah, it's funny some of the bus stop chicanes around the world.
Oh, setting up Benjamin Siren here with a move on the inside.
Beautiful toe down the main straight here.
Yeah, Benjamin knew he wasn't going to hold him off there, so there's not much point making it too difficult. Especially but Adam recovering now, so only down 2 positions up into the podium, pushing hard. But you can see, the guy falls back to 8th position off the start, and a couple laps in where, he's back up into the podium. So he has been the stand-alone driver in the series this season. Has pretty much kept himself clean almost all the races. The only races he had troubles, it was more his internet playing up on him. So he had a couple of dropouts, and that cost him some big championship points. But just the strength of his previous performances, he always seems to be right up the front in these cars. Loves driving them, he says.
That makes a big thing when you love driving a certain car as well.
That's great. You put the practice in with it,
And especially if you really enjoy how it drives and stuff like that, that's when you become quite, I'm a big believer in that. And I'm a big believer if you really like the way your car looks also, with a livery or whatever, I reckon that makes you faster also. So
that's a fairly close look at Alex's livery right there.
Oh, look at that. Look at that, straight up. Ooh, getting a bit of
inside action there. That's a great move there from Adam.
Beautiful move on Alex. He's on the hunt for Stefan.
Well, he's got plenty of pace
man. He's made up. Just under 10 seconds in under 3 laps. That's incredible. It is some serious pace in his cars.
Well, wheel spin off the line put him back to 8th position. So he was 8th on that that first lap. And he's now running in 2nd and pushing hard, chasing down Stefan.
Yeah, oh my God. Who's that?
Robbie Griffiths looks like he's up a position at the moment. So
nice.
Running in 6th at the moment.
He'll be up 2 positions actually. At the start, he actually ended up dropping down to 8th. Well, he dropped down 1 position, so he's up 2 positions from where he dropped down to anyway. But 1 position from his starting point.
Well, I'd say he might be cheering for Adam to get in front of Stefan because
100%.
Stefan's only 30 points behind him in the championship. And being a triple point run, first place, the difference between 1st and 2nd, those points may make a big difference for Robbie there.
Massive. And I think he's just trying to be patient. Hopefully it pays off for him. Like he had a very good result in the... a great result there.
Here, so, I mean, you would think maybe Adam would leave Stefan sitting behind him there if there's the team orders, because those points. But again, I can't see Stefan holding him up. He's just that quick, really.
He is, one of those really things I love about that kind of chase cam is quite cool. That you can see how much camber these cars actually have on at the back and how much they have to do to be able to effectively use the downforce of that wing.
It's a pretty stable car to drive once you get up to temp. It's sketchy on cold tyres, but once you get up there, it can be quite fun to drive. Again, it's coming from the V8s where you tend to use the, your engine braking quite a bit. And then when you can't do that in these cars, you find you try to shift down early and it won't shift, and that can affect the way you sort of come into your braking zones. So it definitely is a different skill to master for these cars, and Adam Hughes has shown that he's mastered that well early in this season. A few of the other guys are catching up now, and the pace seems to be a lot closer. He's not running away with it like he was in the early parts of, especially qualifying in those first few rounds. The guys are
I'm sure
definitely
Adam
getting
Hughes and
closer.
Stephen McCartan are on the race radio right now going, okay, let's push on now. Let's push on now. Let's build up a bit of a gap to these guys behind us, and let's push on and make sure you get this championship, I think. And Adam has just done a beautiful pass on Stefan there as well.
We might try and have a look at that if we can with DSL Welding. Thanks to you guys again for all your support. Yeah, nice. Stefan's got out. Yep, Stefan's got out of it there to let him through.
Let him have the team, or just let him have the space there. But also, did you see how at the start of the straight as well, he stayed there right on the racing line to let him get enough slipstream that he could just fly down past him and
right, yeah,
kill it straight into that first chicane there.
The draft seems to be pretty strong in these cars, and I mean, Imola is sort of one of the faster tracks on the calendar and that long first straight going over the start finish line. You try to straight line those corners, drive as close to the wall as you can in places, and right now you'll notice the guys get really close to this wall here because they're just trying to drive the car straight.
Going through Barca Straight, coming down the first section is Variante Tamburello, so we'll just stay with Tamburello tonight. That's the easiest way to say it. And then your next section of corners through there, and as you know, a lot of these chicanes weren't actually here on the original track. It wasn't until actually the 70s that they had to put the chicanes in here. This is Villeneuve.
Just to slow it down.
Yeah, slow it down because there was so many deaths here, and it was such a dangerous track. And it was because of there's some really unseen bumps on here, and unless you're in a car, unless you can feel them in the car, you'd never really see that they're there, really.
Well, that's what if we stayed on that bumper cam like we were before, it feels like you're sitting on the ground. So you feel all those bumps down there. Yeah. Thanks, Chevy.
100%. And this is Paratella, so this is where, unfortunately, and Ed and Senna went straight off at that corner. So he had a bit of a failure. They're not 100% sure on what's actually happened. He's had a bit of a failure, but it was actually what rebounded and hit him in the head, which actually took his life.
That's what they say, yeah. That's what they say.
But it's very, very strange to see it because it's not a corner, because it's just a corner that you kind of feather on the brake a little bit and then you hit it pretty quick, and you want to use all the track, and it didn't even look like he slowed down.
Who's that? Carter Dines has had a big off then. We've just jumped to his bonnet cam to find him doing some mowing of the grass out there. So we'll try to have a look. Looks like he might have... so he's just tried to carry a bit too much speed.
Oh, it looks like he's hit the inside little bit of a middle bump in the road there. Yeah.
He's bumped off the curbing there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to hurt too.
Damage.
Yeah,
and it's not in a place that you can slow it down enough so you can save it either, is it, really?
Yeah, I don't think that car's going to steer too straight. It's probably a bit early for a pit stop. I'm not sure when the fuel window would open for these cars.
Yeah, it's a pretty hard hit he'd be using. If he kept it on track, he'd be losing a lot of seconds per lap, I think.
Well, Shibby was just saying that it looks like he's had another off, so that car's looking pretty hurt. Yeah, he's coming to the pit lane, take the fast repair and see if he can put enough fuel in to get to the end.
Oh, that's disappointing for Carter Dines. He was sitting in fifth in the championship at the moment, so we'll see how that transpires towards the end of the race. But it is a very long race. We're only 13 minutes into an hour and 10-minute race, so a 70-minute race. So anything can happen.
It'll come down to the fuel window whether or not he made it. Oh, look at good move from Dean.
What a beautiful move on Greg Leake. These guys always have a great battle every week, and it's great to see some really respectful racing from these two.
Oh, look, Greg tried to power around the outside and got a good run there.
He did too. Using all the track.
Well, that front of that SRW machine has got a dent in it, so that would be affecting his aero or a big...
We can see through Paratella, you can see that's definitely alignment a bit wrong.
Well, there might be a slowdown there for Greg too. So
this section is Aqua Minerale.
It's such a fast section there. You watch the fast guys when they exit that corner, they are on the gas as they come out of the groove.
Yeah.
And
they're almost on the gas at the apex almost, though. Pretty crazy. Here we go, boys. That's beautiful driving. So this last little section that we come through is Rivazza. So there's two sections of corner. So this is turn essentially 17 and 18 is Rivazza. So the end of the track there.
Oh, back up to the front here, and that's Benjamin Siren and Kyle Zink coming up on Alex Court. So,
Oh, mate, on the hunt now, aren't they?
working
Both had
together
a
as a
great
team,
race.
the two boys.
It's good to see. Good to see. I think they've both had some great rounds lately. So I think them working together is going to really work into their favour. Because Alex is on an island by himself at the moment, just trying to fend these guys off. Take a few deep breaths, not let the pressure take advantage of him. You know.
This is the battle on track. These guys here. So, and but you know, if Benjamin blinks, Kyle might send it up the inside. But again, I think those boys are trying to work together. Perhaps they can sandwich Alex at some point. But
they'd both as a team be able to save a lot of tyres here at the first initial starts part of this race, guys, which is going to be very advantageous to the team, I think. All Carter Dines off to the side.
Talking to Adam Hughes a couple of rounds ago, and he was saying, I think it was the last time they did the Enduro, the fuel saving was actually quite significant in these cars if you're in the draft.
Okay.
Right, so,
yeah, that's right,
I mean, that can make a big difference in the pit stop because it just shortens the amount of time that you're stationary in the pits.
Yep,
so
100%, and that makes a lot of pits win races, right? Pit strategies win races.
They can. I mean, you still got to be a good driver out there.
100%. You have to be patient and consistent.
I mean, you know, that's the thing that annoys me about this bloody game sometimes. Oh, simulation, sorry, not game. Is that, you know,
the G word.
You fight and fight for tenths, and then you go and stuff it up by a spin that costs you seconds. So, it can be frustrating at times. But,
100%.
you know, quite a few of these boys out here are, you know, real life race car drivers too. So this is just an extension, you know, of their craft, you know. So definitely it's a tool in motorsport. Pretty much every motorsport major team would have a simulation sort of section at least, or their drivers that have sims at home. I mean, it's just the way things have gone, and it's great that, you know, I can count myself a part of that sim racing community. You know, maybe I'm not a pure true racer.
100% wholeheartedly addicted. Absolutely wholeheartedly addicted. It's a disease, I tell you, but it's an awesome disease I'd love to have, and Shibby is too. So we're all iRacing addicts here. So, oh man, I just, you know,
Benjamin
every day I just can't wait to finish work just so I can smash some laps here. You know, like.
Well, Benjamin is turning on the pressure here, so we'll have to see if Alex is still enjoying his sim racing with these two sort of racecraft beasts behind him, trying to chase him down.
And that looked like a little bit of a possible between the two teammates there. It looked like Benjamin was a bit late on braking there, essentially. Oh, no, sorry. Kyle looked like it was a bit late on braking through Alta, so that could have thrown a spanner in the works, but they both seem to have held it there, and they're working really well together. Oh, Alex Court already into the pits.
Early.
Oh, wow. At 17 minutes. Maybe he is doing the double stop. You never know.
I wonder if there's any damage. Well, maybe there's some damage there, and that's costing him speed. If he's picked up a little niggle, then, you know, perhaps he didn't want to be battling with these two boys. He wants to be catching Adam out front. So, well, that'll be interesting.
Wow, anything can happen in the last round, guys. Triple points. Wow, This is yeah, we're going to get a quick replay, DSL action replay of Dean getting slow-mo in the air over the curb.
It's a Porsche in flight, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, because how much just smashed that front splitter. Look,
so
as soon as he hit the ground.
Yeah. There was the splitter damage. Yeah, that was that bounce.
Wow,
That's those big yellow sausage curbs there, a bit mean.
That is crazy. That's a gutter, not a curb, like a full gutter, full-size gutter. Yeah.
All right, so back up where with Callan Hodgkinson still trying to chase down Tyson McAvoy. This battle was a bit closer earlier. It's like Tyson settled into a nice rhythm, and but Callum is tightening it up. Again, as we said, the draft is a decent factor along here. That slipstream can definitely help you sort of bridge the gap. Especially on that big long straight, which you've got actually for once in a week, we've got
plenty of space to pass on that straight as well. So if you get a good draft and a good exit of that last corner at Ravaza, you're in pretty good stead to be able to make some pretty good passes or quick passes on the main Buster Street.
That's right. Is that Robbie Griffiths? Is
Yeah,
that
Robbie
Benjamin?
Griffiths up into third now.
Benjamin Siren and Kyle Zink have both pitted, so they've
Ooh.
decided to react to Alex Court. So that's
Do you
quite
think they're
interesting.
thinking that Alex Court knows something that they don't know, and they're just reacting to that?
Well, just looking at the times, and the guys are still
Very similar.
doing 46s. So the leaders are doing. Adam Hughes, the alien that he is still doing 44s. Is he?
44.
Yeah, 44.9 on his last. 44.9 was his last lap.
Oh, but his
you've still
best
got the
lap's been
guys
a
that.
44.4, which
Yeah.
is craziness. That was on his comeback tour, wasn't it?
Well, but
Johnny Farnham.
you're talking 12 laps into the race, so the tyres are 12 laps old, and his last lap was only half a second off his best lap. But you look at that
awesome.
down the field, sort of the top 5 guys are all still doing 44s to 46s. So there hasn't been a massive drop off in the tyre deck. So the times for those tyres, at least this early on in the race.
Oh, what? We got kind of dying, stuck in the tyre barrier. I'm not sure what's happened there.
I wonder
Has he
if
just
that
had a
might
bit of
bring out-
tyre net code or something?
They might bring out our promo
Wowee.
department safety car. We'll have to see what race control has got to say about that.
Oh, what's happened there?
You can see he's already got damage there
Massive damage.
with the headlights. The glass cover for the headlights half popped out, I think.
Oh, look at that. That's full suspension damage. That chassis is completely
Yeah,
bent.
he's trying to pit.
Oh, no, it's completely
he's
bent. He couldn't even turn it, could he? Oh, no, look at that.
He's binned that.
Oh, it didn't look like he had any steering, though, at all, to be honest. Wowee, look at that. Take a photo of that. Clip it. Well, it's a good advertising for Jennifer Russell real estate, though, isn't it? Great advertising for the roof and on the rear wing there. So big shout out to them.
We actually hear what Carter had to say then, because race control was asking what.
What happened there?
Race controller's commenting saying that was talent. Being able to park the car there.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't even know you could do that. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Look at that. You can see how bumpy Emily is here, and you can see why they've had hiatuses of actually
Is that Benjamin Siren trying to make a move around Alex Court here? So these are the guys that hit it, and the two of them decided to react straight away.
Oh, they're going to be able to make this. Because Alex Court does definitely not want to be the meat in their sandwich, to be honest. He does not want to be that. He wants to stay out in front of these guys and try and stay in the clean air and keep them off his butt there.
Just listen to race control. He's decided to maybe leave that car sitting there.
Okay, nice.
So there's not going to be any safety cars, so we won't see the promo department safety car for this incident. We'll have to see if it happens and bunches the field back up later in the race. But so far, we haven't really seen a lot of safety cars in the Porsche races this season.
I suppose he's out of the way, and it's just the only distraction it really would be is how funny it is as you drive past it, right?
Well, I wonder if Carter's going to leave it sitting there.
Yeah.
If he wants to come down and have a chat, we can ask him.
Yeah,
sure. All right. I'll go up and see if Carter wants to join us. Be back in a moment, buddy.
Beautiful move here. Look, these guys are really hunting down on the back of Alex Court here. They're really hunting him down. These two teammates. We got Kyle Zink and we got Benjamin Siren. Benjamin Siren is the one you can see right now behind Alex Court's car, and behind him is Kyle Zink. Both of these guys have had some absolutely fantastic rounds. Kyle Zink getting our driver of the day last week, and Benjamin Siren getting our driver of the day the week before. So these guys have been working really well together as a team. And
unfortunately,
really
it doesn't look like unfortunately, I can't see Carter up in the voice chat, so
maybe
see if he leaves the car there.
Oh no! Oh no! He was stuck at mate. We've never seen that before. So
I'm
Maybe
sure
that's.
that'll be on the one of the ads for next season, maybe the
I'm
highlight reel.
sure. I think that has something to do with the Imola curse, as they always talk about the Imola curse.
Well, it's not Wall of Champions like it is at Jules Villeneuve.
Yeah, no,
That's the corner that everyone's got to hit at some point in their career.
yeah.
Um,
And if you
but you can
haven't,
see
then you're not
here
a real race
that,
driver, right?
well, I suppose that is true. But
You're not a real sim racer.
you're a real sim racer, that's right.
Yeah.
I know I've hit it. But look at Benjamin still trying to put the pressure right on Alex. So, these
Falling
guys
off a
here
little
who have
bit.
thought, yeah, they've reacted. So, these are the only guys that have pitted, apart from Carter, who has pitted in a rather dramatic way there.
He's going to be pitted for the rest of the race. Stuck in the wall. As we come back down through Ravazza, those last two corners, guys. As we come down to Alta and his last few corners,
McCartan,
Ravazza.
I think. Is that Stephen McCartan up ahead there? Maybe Greg Lee could Stephen up front there. So Stephen has pitted as well. So he's a lap after Benjamin and Kyle. So lap 13 for Stephen in the pits.
He's pushing out his pit a bit longer, so that's good.
As I said, I think, I think we haven't seen any signs of tyre degradation really being a factor at the moment. No, not at this stage.
We're 25
it's more mistakes.
Yeah, more mistakes, but we'll probably see them starting to fall off about that 35, 40-minute mark, to be honest.
Well, that's right. I mean, well, we're about 8 minutes. Oh, no, we're about 10 minutes from halfway. So this may be the time we start to see those times drop off a little, but I'm just not noticing it because...
You're not really. Hey, everyone seems to have still a lot of temperature in the tyres, and that might be due to the track temperature also, guys.
Well, there's a spread of a couple of sections, 2 or 3 seconds across the field in total, and that's a little bit of skill level on that as well. Some of these guys are uber quick and are aliens. I won't mention any names, Adam Hughes. But again, 3 seconds, it sounds like it's heaps, and I suppose it is in the racing sense, but when you break it down, it's not that much. It's just that little bit better exit, a little bit better entry, and you do it time after time after time, and that's the difference.
As we're seeing definitely with people like Stephen McCartan, we're seeing with Robbie Griffiths as well. Robbie Griffiths is staying out of the pits for a bit longer, and so he hasn't pitted yet. He's put himself up 5 more positions, so I think he's trying to get some clean air. He does love a bit of clean air. He loves racing in a bit of clean air, and he's consistently doing in the mid 145s. But still a second off the average laps for what Adam Hughes is doing. Adam Hughes is sitting around those mid 44s, which is just crazy for race pace, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he needs ballast for next season. Let's add 100 kilos to his car and slowing right now.
He gets hards, everyone else gets soft.
I know I've yet to see a handicapping system work well in any sort of sport. So I doubt it'll work in motorsport as well. So
yeah, it was just that whole Scotty McLaughlin factor, wasn't it? Oh, we're gonna put all this success ballast into the, all this success ballast and all this ballast into the Mustangs and stuff, but that still goes out and wins anyway.
well, the difference is, in horse racing generally, you tell the horse to run, it runs. I suppose you can push a little bit more out of it, put a bit more weight on it. It's harder for the horse to run. But knowing these guys out here, there'd be a few sandbaggers, wouldn't they? Look after their handicap early on in the season to make most of the boys here we race with want to race. In the end, that's what it's all about.
We've seen that through weeks as well. It's like, we've seen a few weeks there. It's like, is it going to be T-board? Is it one of us going to pull over? No. All of them are just pushed hard to the end. So it's been really cool to see.
It's all about the battles. So, if you can have battles up and down the grid, then, you're going to be loving it, looking forward to that. So you can see here, Dean's in a nice little window for himself at the moment.
A little bit of a lock-up on the left rear there. We might be seeing some tyre degradation now. He does have a bit of a damage on that front splitter too, so he might be finding it a bit hard to turn left.
Oh, I think it's just trying to get the car pulled up. He just wouldn't have that front aero that, so you'll find the front of the car keeps sliding out on him. But he's got, about 14, 15 seconds back to George Minus that he's racing against. Stephen McCartan is sort of in between those two, and now Alex is. Looks like George has entered the pit lane. So But yeah, so 15 seconds. So we just probably keep an eye on his times. Dean's doing 47s at the moment, and Greg, George, sorry, was doing 47s as well. So there was nothing to separate the two of them.
Nice.
All right.
We'll see the rest of them starting to pit soon. So we've still got
A few cars out
quite a
there
few. Still
that
quite a
haven't
few
pitted.
out. Yeah,
Yeah,
still got
Tyson
our top four.
McAvoy with the silver bullet here. He hasn't pitted yet, and looks like he's going to make a nice, easy move on Greg. Greg is getting lapped there, but as we said, Greg has pitted, Tyson hasn't.
Oh, Greg's on a bit wide on the exit of Alta there.
But that's a sharp-looking car there.
It does. It looks very nice, doesn't it? Quite shiny. I like shiny things. Very, very cool. Still need to work out how to do the old the chrome and metallic paints on iRacing,
Yeah, well,
trading paints, etc.
that's an old paint, that one, but I'm sure Tyson will have a new one done up for the next season. He's actually quite enjoyed doing these cars. I think he's enjoyed this racing more than the V8s, from what he tells me, because he wanted to have a break from the V8s, and I think he said
They are
apparently
hard
he
to be
saw his
consistent
name.
in the V8s.
Well, he said, he wanted to have a break, and he was, saw his name come up as in the season, so he thought, oh, you put me in, I better race it.
Oh no, Tyson McAvoy just with a bit too much gas and a bit of outside curve there, and he's just sent himself around. Bit of playing in the sandpit. Go mow the grass a little bit. Oh, Robbie Griffiths almost doing the same thing.
He won't be happy
He's
that
going a bit
that one.
sideways. I think
Yeah,
we're starting to see these tyres start to fall off here.
Oh, look, I don't know if that's the case. Like, I haven't driven these things. Again, it seems to be, it's sort of one of those cars that you get confident with.
Yeah,
As
and
the
you
numbers
can
come up
become
the temp,
complacent, right?
yeah, you start pushing that little bit harder. I'd handled that really well. All right, I'll take the next corner a little bit faster. I've handled that great, and then you do it again until you find the cliff edge and drive off it. So,
Yeah, exactly right. But how do you know where? Oh no, we've got Kyle Zink there, just going for an excursion on the outside of the track there. I'm not sure what's happened there. Kyle Zink's tried to do the pass on his teammate there and just locked it up coming into there.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
it's more that
Benjamin's just
curb here.
tried to stay out of the way, but
Yep.
unfortunately, Kyle's locked it up. Just couldn't get the weight transferred back to the inside of that apex eight for the exit of that chicane.
I think it's the curbs. You could sort of see the car porpoising there after it hit that curb, and that just meant he was losing aero and wasn't able to brake. Well, just wasn't able to slow the car up.
Yeah, yeah. If you don't have your tires on the ground, it's a bit hard to stop them.
Well, that's right. It's the only thing connecting you with the tarmac. So got to look after those tires, make the most of it. But then you look at some like the race leader here, Adam Hughes. He's still in the low 45s when everyone else is, at least 10th for him.
Yeah.
And some of those boys are pitted for new tyres, and he's still going out on old tyres that are 19 laps old.
Oh, and Dean Sigovic has just done a 148.2, and he's staying out too, so he's pretty confident in his tyres. Stephen McCartan, after his one stop, is already down to the 146s, so he's starting to really feel that car a bit more now. So you'll see him start to push up through the field a little bit now.
I don't know if that's a good call from Stephen, because if he's sort of back in the 48s, then he's struggling. But I think that Stephen's had a fair bit on behind the scenes with SRW at the moment, and he's one of the big admins. Him and his brother are both sort of working hard behind the scenes, and I think he's let his racing. Well, he's let his racing sort of slip a little because he's got other commitments, So always makes it hard for you to be right on the pace.
But we've seen some massive improvements from the two brothers this series.
This season as well. So we're still enjoying his racing, and that's what we want to see. We want everyone to be enjoying their racing. But I'm sure he's happy that the front of that car is a lot straighter than it was before.
Most definitely. It will be a lot easier to drive, I'm sure.
All right, so Kyle Zink, that cost him quite a bit of time there. So what does that put him about? Is that 15 seconds back for the battle? Wow. So Benjamin no longer has his teammate to watch his back. If he's going to get this job done on Alex Court, he's going to have to do it all by his lonesome.
Yeah. Wow. How's that for a crazy difference in lap yesterday? Average lap he was doing 46s, and all of a sudden one lap was a 58. So You know, just because of that spin. So it's a pretty massive gap that he's
As
putting
we
himself
said,
back.
yeah, battling for tenths all night, and you throw it away in one corner.
Yep, and that's just the way, unfortunately, it goes with racing, especially racing at Imola sometimes as well.
Oh, it's a great place. I
Oh,
think
it's a
England's a
great,
great
great
track.
track. It's an
It was great to
absolute
see
awesome track.
the Formula One go back there last year. Are they there
Oh,
again
yeah.
this year?
I'm pretty sure they are. I'm pretty sure they are. I think it's going to be a stayer on the main thing
Or,
because of how excited the
23
and
races in the season, they're starting to run out of buddy F1 qualified tracks, aren't they?
yeah, I think so. And the thing is that you know the amount of response from even the drivers and the fans for F1 to go back to Imola was massive because all the, you know, all the drivers in the leading up races, you know, on the grid, are like, oh yeah, we can't wait for Imola, blah blah blah, you
The,
know.
the
And it
one
was
I
like two or
was
three races again away, you know.
the one I was stoked to see back, it was in 2019, and that was Magello.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
awesome
true.
to see a race there at Magello. I mean, it doesn't suit the F1 cars, but
But that's
having
what made
it
it
was
fun, right?
well, Magello was one of those big tracks that used to be GT3 races and a set of Corsa online races there all the time. So when I
I
first
see.
jumped into sim racing, it was the sort of first bit of competitive racing where I was racing against other drivers, not just the AI. So I grew to love that track,
Oh,
and
nice.
yeah, and then to see the Formula One go back was awesome.
Yeah, and it's great that they've used that opportunity to go. Actually, why don't we hark back to some of those older ones?
That's right. Well, I mean, it was necessity given the COVID-19 and the trying to keep the races in a similar location. So they did lots of those little European and Italian tracks, because you
Yeah,
could
so you
mention
got to
you
look at the
didn't have to
silver
move
lining,
far.
right?
Oh,
Blessing
that's
in
right, man.
disguise.
Dude, as I think I've said to the guys, said on the commentary before, the reason I joined iRacing was after seeing the E Series, the V8 Supercar E
Me
Series.
too,
You
Cowie. Me
know,
too.
up until then, I was a child of a set of Corsa and thought that iRacing was too expensive and wasn't worth it. And then, of course, I had to check it out after that, and yeah, hook, line, and sinker. Uh, I'm destroyed now. I've spent way too much money on my sim ever since then, and
I
I
hear
can
you.
blame the E Series as the main reason. They're the main guys at fault.
Well, that's
It's
the
your
thing. I
fault,
started
supercars.
watching that E series and it was amazing. And then I thought, oh yeah, cool. I'll just get a cheap wheel and start playing console and stuff. I wish I started with iRacing to be honest, because it's been a long, hard road to get here. But definitely iRacing is definitely the
Yeah, well, I had your entry level gear as well. Yeah, G27, playing a set of Corsa and that. But when I got to iRacing and found out about the wonderful world of deep pockets required for sim racing, and
or empty
was
pockets
able
now.
to
You mean?
well, I was able to save up money, and I didn't put myself in debt for it. So, but you know, again, I don't have the family commitments of some other people, so I can save my money myself. Which
And it's great. I love that about sim racing as well. I've just chipped away at things, you know, like the family nights and stuff. But I've just chipped away at little things and go, oh yeah, upgrade this little
I,
bit, and that's the
I'm a
beauty of sim racing, I think.
I'm a DIYer at heart, man.
Yeah, me
Initially,
too.
I built my own sequential shifter when I was still
Oh,
running the old G27. Built it out of bits from Bunnings. It cost me about $50 of materials to make it, and it was great, but it kept falling apart in parts because I worked it too hard.
yeah.
You
But
know.
it's so satisfying doing that sort of stuff and doing the DIY stuff and all the rest of it. It's so satisfying. You're like, oh, I don't think I can justify paying that much for it because I don't think that's worth that. So I'm going to make one. You know, it's quite cool. I love the kind of way sort of sim races kind of do it
Well,
as
I
well.
mean, you can do that with direct drive. There's OSW wheels, that you can, the SimCube One, where you can build your own motor for it, buy your own stepper motor or midge motor and do it. So, I
It's
mean,
so
the
cool.
forums that it's full of it. I think a lot of the pedal designs and that, the big explosion that we've had in pedals is a lot of those initial designs and that have, outlived their patent. Effectively, 20 years gone by, the patents run out.
Yeah.
And then we had all these companies start to come out with sim pedals and different designs, and you can see even at the moment that there's heaps of more hardware coming out, and even sort of
Oh, there's
racing
so many
titles, and
pedals out now. Yeah, I'm looking into upgrades of pedals, and wow, we kind of every week there seems to be another company coming out with a really uber sort of hydraulic pedal or load cell hydraulic pedals and stuff. So it's pretty crazy.
That's pretty crazy. Like this battle going on here. Benjamin has been on the back of Alex here for the last 10 laps, battling hard. They reacted to Alex's pit stop there before. So now this will be a race to the flag. Again, we've still got just on 30 minutes. Yeah, just 30 minutes left. So
well, 4 out of our top 5 have still not pitted, guys. So.
I like Tyson McAvoy still in the 46s. Stephen McCartan about second faster than him, one position back. So that maybe is the difference in those tyres. Adam Hughes still did a 44.5 last lap. The alien that he is.
That's crazy.
I mean, he's consistently lapping about he's consistently lapping about a second faster than his nearest rival. But him and Robbie Griffiths both running quite long, and Tyson McAvoy.
Yeah, so it's very interesting to see. I think Tyson's just trying to make up for that little bit of a spin he had earlier. So he's just trying to get back the positions and try and squeeze as much out of those tyres as he can, so he can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's actually having fun driving the car, you know. So he wouldn't be very happy with himself with that spin. I'll have a chat to him a bit later, and he'll probably curse when he finds out.
He didn't really have too much damage on his car also, so that's kind of saved him a bit also.
Well, I will tell him it was probably a commentator's curse because we were talking it up at the time.
Yeah, so. It was straight up. So, it's been really awesome, man.
Thanks for your comment there, Jake. Yeah, go Adam Hughes, mate. Looks like he's just in another league at the moment. He's running away with it. He's run away with the championship. A couple of internet issues that brought him back to the pack in a couple of races. But apart from that, he's certainly been the one person that's mastered the 992 Porsche Cup car. Notice I took myself carefully there because Shibby has been trying to throw us off the scent.
Yeah.
Reminding us that it's the 992 car, not the 922 car. You know, so.
Yeah, was it J-Mac saying that he did a whole series saying it was a 922?
No, that was I think it was Pete. Yeah, Pete from LR Sports was saying that he did that the whole season, called it the wrong car. Howdy, Pete, if you're watching, mate, shout out. Not giving you shit just because we can.
Yeah.
All right, so this battle is still going on. We've sort of been focused on Benjamin and Alex. It is the closest battle out there. These boys have been pushing hard and hard, but you can see that, you know, even though we think and say that Imola's not one of those tracks that's really difficult to pass, but when your times are so close together, you know, you almost need, you know, to be half a second quicker than the guy in front of you to make the pass clean. And then what happens is...
Yeah, you can make the pass, but you need a long run up to that said pass.
That's right, and if you're not half a second faster than him, then what happens is when you get up underneath him, you suddenly start to lose all that front downforce because you're in his wake, and you can't turn in quite as well, and he starts getting the better turn in and gets on the power earlier than you. That concertina starts to come into effect where you think you're getting closer, but it's just under brakes, and then it stretches back out again. So it can be frustrating.
And then especially going down the Buster Straight into the first corner Tamburello, because it narrows on the exit as well. If you're kind of trying to do that move coming up into there, if it's not quite judged right, you can kind of end up in a lot of trouble, or you can end up ruining someone else's race also.
Tyson's running long here as well, so just Adam Hughes, Robbie Griffiths, and Tyson McAvoy out, not having pitted as yet.
Sinkovich either yet?
Oh, Dean's still out there. Okay.
Dean is still out there with his damaged front as well, so he's having a great drive. And Stephen, none of the Sinkovich boys have pitted.
Well, there was a race that you guys called me, and I had a damaged wing, and I kept out there. You
that's right, and you had a great race.
You keep wondering why I didn't pit, and it's because I didn't really know that I had the damaged wing. I didn't feel it, you know. So I think some tracks you can get away with that bit of damage where you don't really feel it. Though I reckon Dean was struggling early, but maybe he put it down to overheating the tyres. Because another thing we find is, you know, you lock up a tyre, overheated, or
very, very hard to drive on that side of the car.
Yeah, for the next 3 or 4 corners, the tyre's just got a bit too much temperature and it doesn't grip. So you've got to almost take it easy for 3 or 4 corners, let it get back into that operating window, and then you can start pushing again. And what
So-
inevitably happens is you make a mistake, you recover, tyres are still heated, you attack the next corner because you're angry, and then you lose it. Again.
Yeah, 100%. Because you get a bit flustered and hot under the collar, rush of blood to the head. We've
Well,
actually
that's
got a
right,
track
yeah.
temp of 37 degrees. Bloody hell. It's
Yeah, it's been pretty warm.
ambient temperature is only 20 degrees, so it's a nice moderate day. But 37 is pretty warm track temp. So hence
Yep.
why these guys have probably got a lot more out of their tires so far as well.
Well, generally, a hotter track will chew up the tyres a bit more, but again, it's less grip. So I think early on we found that those cold tyre syndrome really sort of played effect. But looking at our race leader Adam Hughes, he had wheel spin off the line, fell back to 8th, and is now got a commanding lead.
Absolutely, over a minute's lead, minute 13 lead he's got gap to the rest of the
Well, 33 seconds back to Robbie Griffiths, who hasn't pitted. So,
wrong numbers.
right, so but again, I mean, Stefan and Alex are another 30 seconds back as well. So, Robbie Griffiths putting in a strong drive here, going long. Looks like Tyson has finally pitted.
Back as well.
And Tyson's pitted. Looks like he's coming back out into 8th position. Coming in behind Kyle Zink, but he's got about 14 or 15 seconds he'll need to make up to get back onto the back of Kyle.
Yeah, we're going to have to definitely watch Stefan as well. Stefan McCartan, he seems like, by the look of his schematics of his timing at the moment, he's had his pit and he's come out, his tyres are warm, and he's smashing out pretty consistent for 145s at the moment, so
yeah,
he's definitely one to watch.
Stefan's one of those guys that pitted fairly early, so the tyres, again, they still seem to be running along. I mean, Adam Hughes is having no issues with tyres. He's still doing 44s, for God's sake. But Robbie's in just did a 46 flat last lap from Robbie Griffiths, so, but he's been in the 45s and low 46s for most of this race. But this is going to be interesting because he's got 32 seconds to Stefan McCartan in 3rd, who's got a further 6 seconds back to Alex Court. So it's going to be interesting when Robbie does decide to pit. He's going to come right out into the middle of that battle of Stefan and Alex. So,
and he's going to have the first 2 laps with not a hell of a lot of
with couple tyres, yeah.
Right?
That's right.
It's a risky one, but he knows what he's doing, so we'll leave him to it. Hopefully it plays to his advantage, but who knows?
And this perennial battle between Alex Court and Benjamin Siren here. We would, if we were going to do a shout out to Benjamin, we'd just say, we do a shout out to Benjamin. Go, come on, man, just send it, get on with it.
Yeah.
You've been following his date for a while here. Pretty sure you've had a good enough snip at his fumes. Yeah.
Yeah. You've both pitted. Just time to hammer to the foot. Give it some gentle, bro. Let's go. Come on, give it some gentle.
When the times are so close between them, you're almost waiting for a mistake from the guy in front to give you that opportunity to make a move. And if he doesn't make mistakes, then
Alex Court, very, very, very rarely makes mistakes. So.
Well, that's right. But that's why these guys are aliens and are faster than the rest of us.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. It's just I don't know how they.
It's depressing.
I honestly don't know how these guys get into just. They can be in 4 different or 5 different cars in a whole week and still just jump into another car like they were born in that car. Well,
the real thing that gets me is if I tried to drive the car like they do, my tyres would last 3 laps.
Yeah, I'd be in a wall many times, I think. Yeah. And that's the thing.
The fine line.
You're replay or something, you're like, oh, yeah, that's the line. You try and take the line, you're like, yeah, that doesn't work for me.
Look, it's just understanding. It's positioning the car and understanding those lines.
It reacts and
well. I mean, looking at data, if you really want to try and find pace, and then you can start to compare it against sort of other guys. And so see that little sausage curb there. That little sausage curb there just cost Benjamin a little bit of time, but he's got it back up. Still, Adam Hughes has finally pitted by the looks of it.
Oh, look at that. Adam Hughes finally in the pits. Does this mean Robbie was going to pit right behind him, you think? I reckon it might. But Robbie might actually try to be pretty careful on those tyres. He has been in draft range most of that time and has been able to save some tyres.
Would
So
not surprise me that the Fishy boys are spotting Robbie here,
yeah,
and
saying so,
they're
yeah.
looking closely at this window that he's got. So at the moment, he's got 33-second window back to Stephen McCartan. So
Yeah.
perhaps they're thinking that, that again, what did he do that lap? He's done a
45.
45.7.
Yeah, 45.1.
45.7. So we'll keep an eye out to see what Stephen,
Stefan.
Mr. Milk Carton,
Yeah,
is
Mr.
doing for
Milk
his
Carton.
next lap.
He's
Just coming up to the final sections, turn 16 and 17.
Yeah.
This can feel
faster.
so good in the car when you get those corners right, because it just sweeps through it. You can feel
It's
the car
quite
sort of
nice and it kind of
sliding,
tucks
and
itself in.
that's
If
right.
you hit that apex right, it kind of sucks the car in. Quite cool.
All right, so what did Stefan
This
put
will
on
be
the board there? Stefan put on a 45.4.
44.
So
Yeah,
you look at
45.
that, Robbie Griffiths on old tyres was a tenth faster. Yep,
Wow,
a tenth
hey.
faster than Stefan. So
He's
he's been able to
been
look
very
at those tyres
patient tonight,
awesome.
isn't he? He's
Well,
up 6
again,
spots as well from his qualifying position, Robbie.
it's going to be interesting. Well, he's second in the championship at the moment, so he's got plenty to defend tonight. And Steppen is his real rival tonight. The triple points, look, one position could be all that separates, second or third on the grid. If Steppen gets ahead of Robbie, that triple points maybe is enough. The difference. I'd have to do some quick
Exactly. Oh,
mathematics
Greg
to
Leake
look at
trying to
that.
get out of the way, and he's just gotten a bit of torque oversteer. He's a bit of snap oversteer because he got a bit of grass on the outside there, so he's almost knocked it into these two guys, into Alex Court and Benjamin Siren, who are
Benjamin
battling
was trying
hard.
to take. Yeah, Benjamin was hoping that was going to give him a little opening there, I reckon.
I think so. I thought he thought. I think he was like, "Oh, jackpot! This might play into my hands," but unfortunately, it didn't quite play into Benjamin's hands. So it'll be pretty nuts to see whether he can make that move on Alex Court. But we probably won't be looking to make a move for probably another
So
10 minutes.
Tyson
I reckon.
McAvoy's had another little off track there, so Stevens now only a couple of seconds behind him. But Steven Sinkovich still, Dean and Stevens still haven't pitted, so they've managed to get a lot of life out of those tyres. So I think tyre degradation really hasn't been a factor tonight, buddy.
No, it hasn't really. Eh? Yeah, and that's what I thought. I thought in these Porsches, because of the weight and how much power they have, in previous weeks on certain tracks, we've had a lot more tire degradation, but we did see not a hell of a lot of tire degradation, and guys really pushing out pushing out their pit time.
Yeah, well,
Dean Sigovich is just pitted too, guys.
So it seems that that operating window is fairly large with these tyres. I mean, generally when you see these sort of cars in a support category race for some of the bigger racing categories, they don't have a pit stop. Mind you, they're generally not doing 30-lap races. They're doing 10 or 15-lap races. But tyre deg never becomes an issue with them. And I think they were talking in one of the series about actually making the tyre compound softer to try and create more degradation. I know it's one of those conversations that the Supercars Australia tend to have every year about making the tyres
most
softer,
other motorsports as well, don't they? Should we make it softer so it makes it harder for them and more interesting? That's always going to, because for televising and stuff, it's always a bit more interesting.
It doesn't always work though, because it just forces the teams to be even more gentle on their tyres. I mean, sometimes they just want tyres that the drivers want grippy tyres that are going to last, so they can just keep pushing for the whole time. Whereas sometimes some of the motorsport races out there become very much strategy races where it's all about looking after the tyres. You'll see the F1's a big exponent of turning deep, braking deep and turning late into a corner so that the drive...
Robbie Griffiths in the pits finally.
The drive off the
the
exit is
53rd minute there.
All right, well, this is going to be it to see where he comes out. So that's Stefan coming through right now.
And we got Dean Sigovich in the pit too now.
Okay, so Stefan
everybody pit now.
All right, so we're looking at the transit. We'll have to have a look at the transit time for Robbie there. But that has dropped him back to 5th, so that's a fairly long...
So yeah, he's had a very long pit, pretty much. So. He's had one of the longest pit times there because he's probably had to put in a lot more gas too than everybody else because he would have been pretty low on petrol, I think.
Shouldn't make too much of a difference. Actually, the longer you run, probably possibly the better your fuel economy would have been. But
he was battling out in clean air for a lot of that part, so he didn't
look,
really.
his total pit lane time was 58 seconds, so that's only about a second or so less than the guys around him. So that wasn't terrible there. The pit lane time looked pretty good.
Oh, pit lane
Maybe a
time,
second or
pit
so
time.
slower. So maybe a couple of seconds difference there. But
we
again,
all know
it's
a
just
couple of seconds is a lifetime in
well,
racing, though.
it's a long transit time. Like the transit time looks like to be, almost a minute from your pit lane entry to pit exit. So when he was up 33 seconds from Steppen, he's now is that 19 behind him. So yeah, that is that, that 50 odd seconds transit time, total transit time. So yeah. So this is going to be interesting if Steppen holds his current position with the triple points. That's got to be close to leapfrogging him into second into the championship. So I wonder if the fishy boys are aware of that, and maybe they're all jumping around, splashing in the pond, trying to let Robbie know he better get his finger out and get up there if he wants to hang on to second.
Yeah, exactly right. So yeah, I'm sure they're in the comms box with him, just going, okay, mate, push it a bit further because we've never seen him any week pit that late before. So it seems like a different strategy than what he normally goes for. That's what it seems.
Look,
anyway.
He's 12 seconds back off this battle, and again, if you're looking, if he was giving up a second a lap, I mean, he's pitted. What's that? 15 laps later than some of the guys.
Crazy.
So, yeah.
Totally
I don't know. Maybe
he. Stefan McCartan pit so early, and then we see Robbie Griffith pit so late. So, and those guys are normally in a battle together. Okay, so they're normally about the same pace, those two guys. So, it'll be interesting to see.
Well, look, yeah, as I said, I think that the undercut or the overcut hasn't really been the factor tonight. I think, again, we'll see if the fresh rubber now is going to make Robbie that much quicker than everyone. But we've only got, 15 minutes, just under 15 minutes of the race left. So, it's going to be hard for him to make up 12 seconds.
Oh, most definitely. Especially when you're on the hunt and you're in a bit of a battle, and you've been in a battle for a while as well. So it's going to be
well, this is the battle he's chasing. So Robbie Griffiths is running currently 5th behind Benjamin Siren, who's closely battling with Alex Court as he has been for 20 laps. Yeah, probably 30 laps, actually.
Be a little good one. Kyle seems to have had some strong recovery.
He had that spin earlier that hurt him.
Recovered seem all right.
And that threw him back, and Robbie Griffiths has sort of slotted himself in between there. So, but he's 10 seconds back from Robbie at the moment. So again, it's going to make it hard for those boys to get catch up to each other, especially when they're all doing 44s and 45s like they are, So
and consistently as well. It's
That's
not
right.
Like anybody. Yeah, these guys don't do a 44 and then next lap do a 45. So,
well, we're looking.
They normally do 44s. They'll keep on doing 44s.
Well, Robbie Griffiths has done a 45.4 on tyres that are 2 laps old.
Yeah.
And Benjamin Siren in front of him did a 44.9 with tyres that are 12 laps old. Well, sorry, 19 laps old.
Yep. So it's definitely not a factor as much, is it?
Well, it's more about getting the tyres up to temperature. It almost seems to be that those couple of laps where your tyres are cold are your worst laps.
Yeah, 100% agreed. Oh, a bit sideways there on the exit there. Adam Hughes, that's just saying it's very easy to get complacent on this track and make some simple mistakes towards the end here. They will be getting very, very tired. You might see some cracks starting to show on a few of these drivers now. I know this point in an enduro for me, I start to get pretty tired. My eyes start to get a bit blurry, and you're probably sweating pretty hard by that point too.
Well, I think that's it. This may be something that comes into play because you've only got to have a mistake from someone out here who's just starting to feel a bit tired, and that might call out a safety car.
Oh
would
yeah,
be
true.
interesting drama to have for the finish. But again,
Yeah.
I think Adam Hughes has pretty much done everything to wrap up the championship tonight. It would take an unbelievable mistake from Adam. I'm not calling it out, Adam, so no commentator's curse here, buddy.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
But
Don't do that.
that'd be the only chance that these guys behind him have got to take this one off him.
But Stephen McCartan has definitely bridged the gap here a lot. Here he's got it. He got the gap there too.
17 seconds.
It's
So
pretty good. He's cutting it down, so he's not going to have enough. Probably not going to have enough time to catch him. But he's definitely.
well, Adam
cutting it
Hughes
down.
had a 1 minute
Oh,
50.
Kellen Hodgkinson with a bit of a moment there, and he's almost taking out his teammate in the process. DSL action, DSL Welding Services action replay here, guys. Oh, he's hit a bit of
Touch of the grass.
So
I think if he's
pretty
kept
nice
that out of the
catch.
fence, he's done pretty well. He's kept that out
he
of the
kicked it off
fence.
the fence, yeah. Oh, brilliant work. Oh, and then he's come back onto the track and then almost taken out his teammate, has he? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh,
Oh.
what a... Oh, wow. Oh, that could have been ended in tears to the whole team there. Wow-wee. Whew.
Oh, might be a interesting discussion in the team debrief for Chris Cross tonight.
Yeah.
It could possibly be a penalty from race control if they take a look at that.
Looks like he is doing a drive-through by the look of that in the back of the background.
No, that was Dean Singovich pitting in then, buddy. I think. Yeah, no, I haven't seen any notification come up from race control regarding a penalty. So probably because his teammate didn't complain, he probably just went holy shit on the team radio.
Holy shit! I'm glad that they're probably both laughing their asses off.
I'm not going to complain about it because I don't want my teammate to get a penalty. So.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, say nothing, man. Yeah. Yeah, we're all good. You didn't hit me. We're all good. Yeah.
That's it. All right.
Beautiful.
We're back on board with the 037 machine of Tyson McAvoy. Tyson was just on the radio
now.
Well, Tyson was just on the radio before saying, "Are we there yet?" So I think he's
getting a bit tired now.
No, just driving around a bit on his own. I mean, we do love sim racing, but for me, it's all about the battles. So I think the thing that gets me annoyed when I make a mistake is it throws me out of the battle, and then I end up just circling around by myself.
Yeah, and that's
the reason we jump in
a race to make mistakes.
Well,
also, isn't it?
Yeah, if you want to circle around by yourself, you can hot lap. That's no problem.
Yeah.
The race is all about getting amongst it, getting your elbows out, battling with the boys, and sometimes it's our own mistakes that put us back in these positions. And then, you just, as we've said before, the times across the field have rarely been more than a couple of seconds apart from the top to bottom. So when you've got a gap of 10 seconds to make up, you need to do 5 perfect laps and have them do 5 bad ones for you to catch them. And that's just not happening. Not happening.
Not with the consistency of these guys. Not from the consistency of these guys. Definitely not. If you're in the C grade races or whatever else like that, and or something like that, or the D grade or the rookies, then it'll be a totally different story. But these guys are definitely old hats at iRacing, and definitely spent a lot of time.
Try and have a look at what the points table is for these guys, because I'm interested to see how many points for second position for Stephen McCartan versus how many points for Robbie Griffiths in 5th position. Because you multiply that by 3 and then subtract 30, it could be a was that a crisscross 1-2 for the championship?
Oh, yeah. It could be, actually. Could be.
Well, I know that there was only 30 points separating Robbie Griffiths and Stephen McCartan. So, and again, if we're looking at, was that Stephen's car just disappeared there for a minute?
He's definitely had a very solid drive, and it doesn't seem to any of this tire wear doesn't seem to have bothered him much either. So, Alex Court on
probably getting some pointers from Adam, I reckon. Maybe Adam's been telling him how to drive these cars because he's found some pace in the last few rounds.
Yeah, here's my setup, and here's the brake balance, bias, and everything. Let's do this. Okay, cool.
I don't think we can take anything away from Stefan though.
100%.
One
No,
of
no,
our
I'm not
fellow
giving anything to anybody.
commentators, one of our fellow commentators. I think he was. I don't know. Was he talking about me and the Radicals the other night?
Yep, yep.
Yeah, of
We
course
gave
he
you a bit
was.
of
So
commentator
yeah,
curse, I think.
he would have hung some shit on me, so I'm allowed to hang it back on him, Mr.
Yeah,
Milk
exactly
Carton.
right.
So, but he's
That's
having
the
a great
beauty of it,
race,
eh? I'll
and
get you, boy. Yeah.
that's it. Nah, but he's having a great race. It's just at the moment, you know, we've really only got that same battle that we keep going back to of Alex and Benjamin.
It's
Is the
gonna be
only
a
real
great
battle
race.
that's out on track at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, but we are coming into it. Closing in on our last 5 minutes of this race here, guys. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see if anybody makes any mistakes. Hopefully not. This might be the finishing positions of this race by the look of
Well,
this, but
looks looks like Benjamin just lost a little bit of ground to Alex there, so he was inside a second, and it's just blown out to just outside a second. So I'd say he made a little bit of a mistake there. We had Kyle Zinkas, mate, has had an incident as well.
oh, has he? Oh no, that's disappointing.
We're
He's
gonna.
had a great comeback there. Oh,
Oh,
it's
it's
just a
just.
bit late on brakes.
Oh, I think he's just looped it round on the gas there. Looks like he's done a nice little hook turn though, little flick
Oh
turn and
man.
kept it going straight.
It seemed like he might have broken that he might have slammed on the brakes mid corner though, or put a bit
Oh,
of brake in mid corner because he was drifting out. So he might have tried to brake a little touch when he
you
was
see
mid
there
corner and
that
it's just
he.
sent him straight.
Uh, well, that was a bit of grass by the looks of that.
Oh,
I was
was
going to
it?
show
Okay.
there, but yeah, But you could see there he quickly got off track to get out of the way of the guys, so he was keeping an eye on his relative, which is good to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right,
Although I
so
think it's just a
Robbie has
fantastic
brought the
drive
gap
tonight.
down with Benjamin to so it's about 13 seconds at the moment. So I think that's still fairly stable from where it was before.
Yeah, it looks like he's
Maybe oh no, it was 17 seconds before. So he has
yeah.
found a bit of time, but with 4 minutes left,
We're
13
only going to see
seconds
a
is
couple more laps, so
so it's a bit of a mountain too much, I would think.
I think so. That's disappointing. I thought it would have actually played into Robbie's hands a bit more with that late pit stop, but he did have a slightly, oh, yeah, only slightly, probably a couple of seconds, 1 or 2 seconds more of a
To be
pit stop.
honest,
But we know that's a
as we've sort of worked out, buddy, the tyre deck has not been anywhere near as dramatic as we thought it could have been.
yeah, yeah.
You know, and the difference in times, in the lap times, generally is a mistake or not. You make a little mistake, it costs yourself a few tenths, and that's why your lap time's a bit slower than the guy in front of you.
Yeah,
And
so
next lap, it seems to be the other way around. I mean, generally looking at the gaps down through the field, the gaps between the drivers per laps is, half a second, maybe a second at most. And, game when we're talking a 40 plus lap race, there's you're a second slower a lap, that puts you 40 seconds down at the end of the race.
yeah, it all adds up, doesn't it? Very, very quickly, it all adds up. But it's
It
very
does.
similar to how a lot of these kind of, as we say, aliens get such quick times. It's because of those extra tenths around the track. Also, in those little spots and milking every little spot that you can to be able to get back up and have that up your sleeve to be able to go. Okay, I know I can do a safe lap, but if I really need to push it, I know the exact line I need to be on. And these guys can
So,
very confidently race on right on the edge. Oh, we've got somebody going out there. Who we got? Benjamin Siren has just gone off. No, is it just back marker? Oh, sorry. Oh, straight
yeah, I
up.
think just Callum getting out of the way there for Robbie, I think it was.
Yeah, that's too.
So,
I just saw a flash of
yeah.
black and red, and I was like, "What?" I was glad
And
it wasn't
before we
Benjamin
get to
Siren.
the last couple of minutes, before we get to the end of the race, I will just do a reminder for all the guys out there. Remember, we've got our big Enduro series for the V8s coming up starting in April. So make sure you head to simracingworld.com.au if you want to jump on board and join all of us for some Enduro madness in the V8s. So we've got 3 6-hour races. We're at Twin Rings Motegi for the first one, I think Sebring for the second one, and back to Bathurst for the final race, as it
Oh
should be.
yeah, at the mountain. Come on, it's gonna be amazing.
But make sure you jump on board, guys. We're looking for as many entrants as we can. Get involved in a great series. You guys have been asking for an Enduro series, so SRW have, they've replied and put it on the table. So let's get as many people as we can signed up and join us for some great racing.
Ask and you shall receive.
That's it. All right, we must be getting down near the last lap
This
of the
is our
race.
last lap here.
We'll have to
Have
keep
a
an
look
eye
at this.
out for Barney the flag man.
Yeah, we'll have to look out for the white flag, guys.
But Adam Hughes out front,
So this is
21
Adam
seconds
Hughes'
in front.
last lap by the look of this. So yeah, they'll be doing
Yeah,
one more lap.
supreme drive from Adam. About half a lap, or 2/3 of a lap, we'll say, left between him and championship glory. He's done it in style. Just a matter of 12 more corners, 12, 13 more corners. Get on the gas easy. I can't see him taking it too easy because he's just been doing those blistering laps time after time, and you get in the zone. If you tend to back off, you know, you can make a mistake. So, but
and you can see he's very, very calm and behind the wheel. Like I've never seen Adam Hughes overdrive the car, you know. So he's done very, very well. You can see how smooth he is in his movements and things like that.
It's just fast. He's just fast, man. That's the problem, you know.
Yeah.
It needs another 150 kilos.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, just a passenger. He needs a really fat passenger. Yeah.
But a supreme drive and doing it in style with the gyro cam here from Shibby giving us great action. So, oh, look at that. It got a bit wild there.
Oh, he's screwing out of that final corner.
I think he's
for the final time.
I think he's starting to celebrate a bit early. He's planning on drifting across the line, I think.
Oh, look at this, eh?
Just testing it out, see if he
an
can
absolute brilliant drive for the whole series from him as well.
He has been the benchmark in this car, and looks like he's going to do it. Once again, take out round number 10 of the SRW Porsche Cup GT Series. And
the whole series also.
Championship, race win. Is there anything this man can't do?
Exactly right. I reckon he's going to show us some mean doughies right now too.
All right, no, but that's a great finish from Adam. He's had a great season. Stephen McCartan getting down into the 44s there at the end, so that's a great final lap from him. Alex Court hanging on to third position in the race. Benjamin Siren was chasing him for the whole race, but just didn't have enough to get it done. Oh, it was, but just goes to show, you know, Alex wasn't going to make a mistake and didn't give Benjamin that chance. Benjamin certainly tried.
Very hard. If you're about the same pace and you just, if they don't make a mistake, that's pretty much all the options you got sometimes, isn't it?
It is, unfortunately. But these guys have been driving well. The SRW car just decided a little bit of a rub there on the way through.
Oh, look at that! I need to just start thanking the boys from SRW for putting on the series by just giving some really nice custom paintwork. Yeah, that's what we'll call it, custom paintwork, to celebrate the end of the for the final round.
All right, so I think when the results come up, buddy, you can call them out.
Yeah, main donut from our series champion.
I'm going to go and throw up in the chat to get the boys down into the chat.
Would you like to lead the interviews tonight, Cowie?
I'm happy to. I tend to enjoy talking with the boys.
Okay, fantastic, because I'm quite busting for the toilet also, so great timing.
Oh, that's all right, buddy. I'm just putting, just doing a message for the boys so I get the right guys to jump down into the chat. And all right, but yeah, no, it's awesome. Been a what? Oh, wrong. I just put the wrong symbol in when I'm trying to. What's Robbie Griffiths?
And who's our driver of the day, guys? Here.
Well, it's going to be, it's an interesting one. Is it Robbie Griffiths? Is Griffo? I think he's Griffo, isn't he? Do the green room, please. All right. Oh, see if we can get a few of these boys in, but it's been a great night. All right. I didn't tell them it was the green room, but that's all right. The boys have had some great racing tonight. again, maybe that promo department safety car would have been a nice addition there, bunch it back up. But again, the guy's driving too clean really for that. A few little dings in the cars, but no bonnet there on Adam Hughes' car, so someone's tried to take him out. At least they saved it after the race. Yeah, donuts in the wall. A few little things in the boys, but
And these cars do great donuts too because they're so heavy in the arse end too. Oh, look
awesome.
at that big fat donut from Dino there.
If you want to throw up the race results at least, buddy, we can call that out. But it was our race winner and series champion, Adam Hughes with Chris Cross Esports Racing, 14 seconds ahead of his teammate Stefan McCartan. So that's would have cinched the team championship for those boys as well. But I think they were 500 points in front, so it wouldn't have mattered. Alex Court with After Dark Sim Racing. Alex has had a really good season in the Porsches, a bit up and down. He's had some great results and wins, but also had a couple of sort of ordinary races that really hurt his championship. Benjamin Sorenth in fourth, a great race from Benjamin, was pressuring Alex the whole race there, just didn't have enough pace to get it done. Waiting for Alex to make the mistake, and it just didn't happen. Robbie Griffiths in fifth position. Robbie is running second in the championship going into the final round. Stefan McCartan was only 30 points behind him. So that triple points for the final enduro, the difference between second and fifth, I would not be surprised to see if Stefan has leapfrogged Robbie in the total overall championship standings. But I think Robbie, with the fifth position there, still done enough to make sure that he is on the podium for the championship. Kyle Zink was again battling for a top 5 position there, but with Alex and Benjamin and Robbie, those boys, again put on some great racing, but perhaps that little off track that Kyle had early on in the race cost him. All right.
Might have fractured his confidence a little bit more for the.
It doesn't have to fracture your confidence, man. It's just you give away 5 seconds when you're battling hard to try and take a second out of the guy in front of you. It takes laps. All right, we're going to bring in out the crisscross boys, Adam Hughes and Stefan McCartan. Adam and Stefan, thanks for joining us, buddy. Boys, Adam, great race win and championship win, buddy.
Yeah, mate. With it. Yeah. That was a good race, mate. The start was pretty average, but
I saw that.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I just think the car just bogged down. I've released the clutch too early, and it's just bags the wheels and wheel spun them pretty viciously. But no, it was right, mate. I'm pretty happy with that race win and championship win. So back to back, I'm pretty happy with that, mate.
Well, mate, look, you've shown your pace all season, so you must have. It would have been nice to have a bit of fun there, weaving your way through the traffic after that mistake. So maybe you made it enjoyable for yourself tonight too, buddy.
Yeah, it's good to sort of dust off the old skills again. But no, I'd sort of rather not do that. I'd rather sort of just stay in first and typically drive away. Less room for error and less room for incidents or getting caught up in incidents. But nah, mate, look, pretty wrapped with it. Can't complain, mate. 1-2 for myself and Stefan. That takes out the constructors, and I'm pretty sure it takes out first and second of the drivers as well.
I was going to say that. I was wondering early on in the race if you were thinking about sitting in behind Stefan just to make sure he maximised his points to try and leapfrog Robbie, who was second going into this round.
Yeah, we're going to do that, but I think we worked out he was 3 positions behind Stefan, so we think Stefan was pretty safe by a few points. We're pretty sure.
Yep. Yeah, we're actually trying to see if the admin can bring up the team the points for us so we could work it out ourselves. We thought that must have been the case. That second position from Stefan, great drive by the way, buddy. But that would surely has the 3 position difference with the triple points should be enough to get you up into second, buddy.
Yeah, just looking in the Google Doc now, looks like with me in second, Robbie in fifth, I got 54 extra points than he did. So, yeah, it looks like I got there in the end.
Well, congratulations, buddy. We thought you might have made it hard for Adam there for a bit, but I suppose you guys had team orders. You were that far in front. You both could have crashed out. Probably still won the teams event.
Yeah, no, it was good fun. Yeah, it's always good when you got essentially 2 drivers that are always near each other and can learn from each other. Obviously, Adam's a bit quicker than I am, but he helps with setup and what he does with the car. So it's always that part of it's good, which obviously leads to more results. There's a few bad ones in there where crashes and that happen, but it's just part of motorsport.
Oh, it is, mate. It is. Doesn't always go our way, especially when you're pushing hard. And I mean, it definitely seems that watching the times and on the boards that the guys have definitely closed the gap speed wise on you, Adam. You're not as far in front as you have been, but you got a great run tonight, and you had Stefan as a wingman there, but he didn't really even have to do that. You boys were just faster than everyone else out there tonight.
Yeah, just able to just capitalise on everything else. And like I said, bad start, but I was able to make up for it. And originally the plan was Stefan finished first, and I was willing to sort of just back off and let him breeze through. But then like I said, we worked out that he was going to be safe roughly. Yeah, no, it's good, mate. Everything went really, really well. I thought we were going to have a safety car when Carter sort of fenced himself at the start of pit lane, so I was sort of a little bit concerned. I thought, oh, this ain't good. But luckily they didn't pull it, so that worked out right in my favour. But yeah, no, mate, all in all, just a good race, and what a way to finish the season. So no, absolutely wrapped with that.
Well, you've certainly, been on top of these cars. How were they driving around Imola? Those chicanes. Is this sort of one of those cars where you can take a fair chunk of those curves?
Some chicanes or curbs you can, others you can't. But it's more like I think we dumped I think Stefan did 88 or 89 litres, and I put in 83 litres of fuel in, and the car just struggles. Like, you really feel it. Like, it just doesn't want to have any front end grip or turn. Like, it's so sluggish. But as the fuel comes off, it gets better. But then by that time, the tyres start to go past their use by dates. So that doesn't help either.
You ran really long there, so we didn't think that the tyre deg was that much of a factor. But I suppose it was just the weight coming out of the car at the same time.
It helped, but the rears were completely shot. I only changed the fronts, and the rears were completely shot.
Okay. Well, that's another question answered too, because we didn't know if you guys would only take 2 tyres or go for 4. So that answers that. I suppose in the V8 you would just take all 4 because they're covered in the same time, but would have made a difference in the timing for the pit stops. But look, again, buddy, Supreme Drive. Let's give you a chance to give a shout out to all your sponsors. You've taken out the race win yet again and the championship by a commanding amount. So you deserve the limelight, buddy. Take it away.
I just want to thank Stefan himself for getting the sort of sorted out and getting the team together, and letting us have a crack at the series, both this and F3 and supercars and radicals as well to a degree. So big shout out to him. Obviously Crisscross Boys, Jennifer Russell Real Estate, Smoke Studios, KYB, and good old Doom Designs, Schwartzy, for making his liveries and doing a fantastic job with them as always. And AE Boards.
We've let okay, I've got Alex in the green room. I better grab him too. There he is. So thanks for coming down to the green room, Alex. Pretty good battle you're having there with Benjamin, mate, for most of that race. Looks like he was attached to your butt there for a while.
Yeah, he was. He wouldn't leave me alone.
But just didn't quite have the pace to match the Crisscross Boys up front there.
Nah, look, I've really struggled this week at this track. It's yeah, look, I mean, driving the Porsche was just for a bit of fun and a bit of extra track time. So, yeah, this track and car combo didn't really gel with me that well. So, look, I'm happy with I'm not happy with a P4, but I'm not going to complain at a P4. So, and I think Scotty and I just worked out what the points were, and think I just missed out on P3 for the championship. So I think I finished P4 overall.
It was pretty close.
It was, yeah. But I think After Dark got P3 in the team championship.
Yeah, well, you guys, I think, were running second, were you? You were
Second,
splitting
yeah.
the 2 Crisscross Boys, and
Yep.
so it looks like they might have leapfrog you as well. So it's a bit of a
they
double
did.
blow.
It is,
What
yeah.
what are you going to do about these mongrels, buddy, coming in and taking these victories?
Look, it's what happens. All credit to them. Those guys have been super fast all season. So, there's not really much you can do about it apart from just, say well done and, yeah, look, I've enjoyed the battles with him this season. I know a couple of times there, unfortunately, we did you know, have a little bit of contact here and there through races.
I looked as far as we could tell, man. There's nothing intentional in any of it, but
Oh
sometimes
no,
things
never.
don't bounce the right way.
Yeah, that's it.
cer-
That's it.
you know, certain knocks work, and you both get away with it one week, and then the next week you don't get away with it. So,
Yeah,
what
that's right.
happens.
Look, I've still had fun, and yeah, it's been good.
Awesome, man. Now, before I throw to you for your sponsors and that, I'll give Stefan the mic again because, again, he had a great race tonight, buddy. Ended up driving wingman. As we said, we thought he was your wingman tonight, looking after you points wise, but it wasn't required, eh?
Yeah, it's there's no point making Adam a wingman when he's a second a lap quicker. So if it came down to the crunch and Robbie was in third, I'd probably make the team order decision. But yeah, I'm happy for Adam to do his thing, and I'll just follow along because at the end of the day, it's going to be quicker if I follow him and he drags me along than it is the other way around. So yeah, it's been good. I think it's two seasons in a row for obviously Adam winning, and 2 seasons in a row me and Adam getting the team championship. So yeah, we'll try and make it a three-peat next year or next season.
Sounds like a plan, buddy. I mean, these cars are quite different to drive. What brings them to you? I know that I've spoken to Adam before, and he loves these things and is focusing on them. But what about yourself? Did this start as as an extra track time one similar to Alex, and you've found his own in them?
So in the older model, I think it's a 9991 or whatever it is, the older version, I quite like that car, and obviously with the new one coming out, decided to get this one and to see what it was like, and I quite like GT3 sort of base cars, which this is a lot more like that than the older spec Cup car, just with the more downforce. And I feel like I like cars that don't have ABS and traction because I don't like aids. I like to feel what the car's doing. So a few characteristics of the car just pulled me towards it, and for the most part, it's pretty fun to drive at all tracks. So yeah, it's just I enjoy driving it, so why not race it?
Yeah, man. It's just the cold tire blues seems to be the big thing about these cars.
I actually like them on cold tire. I don't know why, but even in like this race here, I got a good start, and I think on the first lap I pulled 1.5 seconds on Alex before the tires came warm, and then he started to pull me in. But it was yeah, I quite like these cars on cold tires personally.
Yeah, well, Adam, did you think your championship was flashing before your eyes when your wheel spun there, buddy? Could have got taken out by someone behind you.
Yeah, I was. I dumped the clutch. I dumped the first half of the clutch. I was going to get ready to dump the second one, and then it just backed itself and spun. And luckily, Stefan's behind me. I said, "Yeah, mate, go left, go left, go left," and he went straight left and passed me. And I thought, oh, crap, there's people behind me. I'm going to get rear-ended here and just center punch something chronic. But luckily, everyone sort of just parted the seas and went around me, so I sort of got lucky a bit there. But yeah, thankful for all the boys and girls that sort of took notice that I was run out of talent basically at the start of the race.
Oh, I doubt that, buddy. You haven't run out of it. It might have abandoned you there for a split second, but that's about it because you showed it after that. All right, Stefan, I don't know if you have got any separate sponsors you want to give a quick call out to, and then we'll give the mic back to Alex so he can do a shout out for his.
No separate ones. Just again, shout out to Smoke Studios for coming on board as our main sponsor this year. Adam for being good teammate. The other CXR boys for obviously coming along. SRW, you guys for obviously the broadcast and stuff, and After Dark for giving us a good run this year. It's been good fun, and hopefully we'll see everyone back next season.
Awesome. All right. Well, Alex, we'll give you your final shout out to your sponsors, buddy. I know we keep talking to you all the time. I think you're like Adam. We're gonna have to put ballast in your car at some point in these seasons. But anyway, take it away, mate, and let's hear from them all again, eh?
Yeah. So obviously, I'll start off with DSL Welding and Racing with Autism. Again, I say it every week. Couldn't do it without those guys supporting me. Then we've got Core by T, Dragonrc, Above and Below Stump Grinding, Tree Minded, Mod Tint, ABC Transport, AA Designs, DSL Welding Services, and Racing with Autism Australia. Special shout out to Gary Bradshaw, tuning in every week. He always messages me after the race, So really, really appreciate his support. Scotty for crew chiefing for me in the Porsches all season. All the boys at After Dark. Couldn't do it without them. They get behind me every week. Stefan and Adam for the battles on track. Awesome job on the championship, Adam. All the people behind the scenes at SRW, broadcasters. Yeah, I think that's everyone. Sorry if I've missed anyone.
I don't think you've missed anyone, buddy. We've heard from you that much this season. If you had, there's a big problem. But we really appreciate the battles on track from you boys. It's been good, intense racing. I know, Adam, you made it look easy in the end there, but you know, they didn't let you get away with it all of those races, did they?
Some races they sort of hung on and fucking hung around like a bad smell or flies to shit. And I was like, God damn it, this is not the way I wanted it to go. But some races I got lucky and I genuinely got lucky where there was a crash or two, or there was a massive incident, or safety cars come out just at the right time where I can pull into the pits or whatever the case may be. So yeah, some races have been really lucky where I've driven away. Others I've been swarmed in a pack of like 3, 4, 5 cars, and nothing against that either. But yeah, it definitely makes it harder or adds a spanner into the work. So yeah, definitely.
Well, I know you say luck, buddy, but there is a fair amount of skill there to keep finding yourself up at the front. But congratulations with your win in race 10 tonight and your win of the championship, commanding victory, buddy. So well done. I'm going to throw it back to my commentator, buddy, teammate here, Toddy. Do you want to take us out for tonight, buddy?
I can surely definitely do that. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for coming to and viewing and participating in our awesome Porsche 992 Cup series. It was great for our first series, and it was great to have everybody. We keep on growing, and we strive to get better with all our streams and our broadcasts every week and every race that we do. Big shout out to our sponsors, DSL, our major sponsor, DSL Welding Services, and also Dragonrc. Also, big shout out to those legends. Signing out from SRW TV, from myself, Chef Toddy Thorburn, Andrew Cowie, and our illustrious producer, Nathan Shibby Howard. Thank you very much. See you later, guys.
And we'll see you for the Enduros starting up soon, guys. So jump on board.
Yeah. Jump on board, simracingworld.com.au. Jump on there, sign up, make sure you hit the notification bell, and make sure you come and watch the races. If you don't want to race, come and watch at least. So
And we'll
much
see
love.
you out
Keep
on
safe.
track.